Woo! Welcome to the best sports podcast on the planet. Football is back. This is Triple Shot Sports. I'm your host, Brandon Combs, joined as always by the Soup Boss. Soup, how we doing, buddy?
Did you know what today
Football's
is?
Back?
Do you know what today is? Football is only 2 days away. According to Oklahoma Sports Radio, football is only 2 days
I knew you were going to do
away.
this.
Hey, the afternoon show, I drove home, though. Sam Mays on the franchise, thank you, sir. Not only did he say we're going to do a whole breakdown, we're going to pick our division winners and playoff winners and Super Bowl winners. Not only did he bring the reality where it needed to be, even though he's a huge college football guy, he also put the Patriots in the AFC Championship game, which I tweeted him and said, I think you're insane, but I appreciate the love, sir. I love it as a Pats fan. Hashtag hoping you're right. So,
hoping he's wrong. God, I can't wait for the Pats to be horrible. It's going to be the best part of the football season when the Pats are horrible.
Oh, yeah. See, they're a typical Bears fan, caring more about other teams when you should be worrying about the lackluster.
Look, until week
Mitch
3,
Trubisky.
until Mitch Trubisky is no longer our quarterback, I just don't care. I want everybody else to lose too. I want you to suffer just as much as I have to suffer through the first 2 weeks. Mitch Trubisky is a freaking starting quarterback for the Bears again.
And they talk about Boston fans being the most negative fans out there. I want you all to suffer like me.
Anyway, so here we go. So, look, we wanted to get to you guys. We got football starting tonight, man. Chiefs, Texans. I am pumped. I cannot wait.
See Tom Brady taking his helmet on TV right now, wiping it up.
Look, it's going to be fun. I can't wait to see, to be honest with you, I can't wait to see what it's like without fans. It's going to be different.
22% capacity tonight in Kansas City. I mean, of course, that's not a lot of fans, but I watched a college game that had 0 fans. And at first, I think like any other sports right now, I'm getting a little more used to it as people are, the sound people and everything can make things differently. But those stadiums are bigger. That sound doesn't carry the same way. I just don't think I'll get used to it all season. So I'm glad that some states have said, hey, we're going to start the first couple games without. It's giving them the opportunity like, hey, if things start to curb with this COVID thing, we'll start to let some people in, as opposed to some states that have just straight out like, no, it's not happening. And thank God for the green and blue team of football New Jersey, because they don't have to worry about New York telling them what to do.
Yep. Hey, so we got a great show lined up for you guys. Not only are we going to talk about the game and be talking about the game while they're going on, we'll be on for pretty much the entire first half. We're also going to talk some baseball, Man, the Texas Rangers really would have been butthurt last night if they were the Miami Marlins.
They were. They probably found some way to be butthurt.
They probably complained about that too.
They're probably butthurt about the Brewers, and then literally were just like, we're appealing the whole season once they saw the Braves score.
The Braves score probably. I'm surprised, to be honest with you, that the Texas Rangers weren't outside of Braves Stadium today protesting. Yeah. That's what we do now, right? If we're upset about something, we got to
protest. You go and protest.
But no, for real. So we got a great show. We're going to start off with, as always, we're going to start off with Shop Talk.
Yeah,
Shop
buddy.
Talk presented by BigDogPoker.net. When you sign up for BigDogPoker.net, make sure to use that agent code GoCubsGo. That's right. That's agent code GoCubsGo when you deposit your first $50 on BigDogPoker.net. So, all right, guys. So let's start bringing the stuff to us.
You should change that someday to Go Sox Go for the White Sox, because you said they were the best team, and then I can get in on that and be like, all right, Go Sox Go. That's great.
Michael Buckheister, what's going on, buddy?
I thought those were heart emojis.
He says, wow, the best? Yes, we are the best. I mean, come on. Who's better than us?
Who's better?
I mean,
Strikeout Beat's going to come on and be like, I hate you guys again.
I know it ain't the Mike and Mike man-on-man hour. We ain't doing that, buddy. Let's go, Mike. We ain't scared. Bring it, buddy.
I'm waiting for Wayne to tell us he's infinity times better.
Alan,
Go Cardinals, baby. How about them Cardinals, baby?
Look, Alan,
they're still number 2 in the division. They're in the playoffs right now.
If you keep having my son right, go Cardinals. I'm telling you, I'm sending him.
I don't force him to do anything. That's a man right there making his own choices. Own choices in your house.
I'm sending him to Adrian Peterson's house so Adrian Peterson can take care of it for me.
This is a joke that's going to end up turning terrible for us someday. Just so you know, Triple Shot fans, when all of a sudden this show is not on, you can blame that man. See how I did that? I was able to point to you right away, too. That man right there.
Yeah,
Let's talk about child abuse.
Hey,
this is a great show.
Hey, you started it. And now he's flooding the comment with there's about 4 here. Oh man, Michael, come on, man. What do you?
and 400 is greater than 12.
Yeah, hey, it's true. It's
people are wondering what the hell is going on right now.
And strikeout beers like 1800 is better than
400. Though I have to say, we hit a good 1500. What was it last week?
Yeah, it's actually up to almost 1900 now. We're getting
loving
there.
It, guys. Let's keep these views going. There are people in the stadium. Wow, I love it.
15 minutes to kick off. I think it's a little bit more than that, isn't it? 8:40.
Well,
8:40.
Technically, it's supposed to be in 12 minutes, but you know dang well that it's not going to go right off at 7:20 Central or 8:20 Eastern. That's when they say kickoff is.
Blue Chiefs. Look, Zach. Normally I would be pulling for the underdog, but I, did some sports betting this week, and one of the things that I put through is I got money going down on the Chiefs to win. I put $5 down on FanDuel last night to win 125 for the Chiefs to win, a plus 2,500 for the Chiefs to win.
How?
It was a $5 max bet. It was one of their boosted bets that they had. It's crazy. They had
my bookie needs to get on it. They didn't give me anything like that. They gave me negative 6,000.
Yeah,
I think
plus 2,500. There was another one that I put that was a crazy one that they had for players to score 2 touchdowns. Most of them are low. Plus maybe 750 or something like that. But it was Kiki Kuti for the Texans. If he gets in the end zone tonight, man, I am getting paid. He was a plus 10,000.
Wow.
To get in the end zone twice. So I was like, oh, all right, cool. Here's $25. Let's get in the end zone twice, Kiki. Let's do it.
Wait a minute. It looks like my bookie has got something similar. What we got right now to boost it? Max bet is $50. Kansas City. What's this? Plus 54. What the heck is going on? I don't understand what's happening here.
They have to win by 55 points. Do not do that bet.
Plus 54 spread bet. And it's only negative 110. I don't understand what's happening here.
Is that the over-under? Over-under, Texans score more than the Braves. Ooh, that's a good one. Soup, do you see this one?
What?
Over-under, Texans score more than the Braves. From last night or the Braves night?
Under.
I say under 2 if it's from last night's score because I got the Chiefs tonight, 27-23.
Yeah, as long as we're taking the 29 runs that the Braves scored last night, I'm saying under.
Jared Parrott, what's going on, buddy?
Motherfuckers. It's minus. I can't believe you got plus something on Kansas City. It's minus 440 right now in the line.
Yeah, it was.
It's minus 110 for 9.5, which to me is plenty.
I feel like right now I should put up like a gambler addictions hotline just to warn people.
You're going to need it with me. You're going to need it. The season has begun, baby.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I got minus 405 right now. The one I got was just one of their boosts that was on last night. He said, was it? Jared Parrott says Will Fuller will grab 2 tonight. That's a plus 1,300 right now. I might.
That's a good one.
Jared, are you sure? Should I put $20 on that, Jared? If not, will you give me my $20 back?
Yeah.
Let me ask you that. I'll put $20 on it, and if I win, I'll shoot you $20. How about that? If we lose, you give me my $20 back. If we win, I'll shoot you $20. Sounds like a fair bet to me. I'm going to go in and put it down anyway. But don't tell him that. All right.
If anyone is wondering what these plus minuses, I know not everyone in sports gambles. A lot of times they think that it's, you just bet straight up. When you hear plus minus, for anyone that doesn't know, plus, if something is plus 220, what that means is if you put in $100, you would get your money back plus $220. If it's minus 110, it means if you put in $100, you get back negative 110, so you'd only get 90. So it's an aspect of the odds. When it's more in favor of a team, you're going to get less back. So when you hear these plus and minus numbers, it's based off of a $100 bet, but you don't have to do 100. It's just that's the rate. So if you throw in $10 on something that's plus 240, you'd get $24 instead of 240 when you bet 100. So
right. Yep. TJ Burns says, always stirring the pot. Yep, TJ, look, that's kind of what I do. That's I love to stir the pot. I love to put things up. That's kind of my thing. I will always stir the pot. If somebody is going at somebody, I'm the one that says, are you really going to let him say that to you? And then after he says it again to him, I'll be like, are you going to let him talk to you like that? That's who I am. That's kind of what I do. But there ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Zachary O'Brien says, if the Chiefs win, I hope it's in between the guidelines so you win. Has Mahomes ever lost to Watts? Ooh, I don't think so.
He has. I don't think he has. I think twice Watson has had a lead on him, but Mahomes has never lost.
Like in the playoffs last year?
Yeah, I think that was the second time. And in a regular season, they did the same thing.
54 is the over-under. Whew. Man, 54. So I got 27-23, so that's 50. Man, but that's the problem with the Chiefs. Like, you want to bet the under there, but the Chiefs can go off for 54 on their own tonight.
Yeah. Yep.
So I think it's safer to not do an over-under when you have high-powered offenses. And look, I think that the Texans, and I've said this before, I think people are sleeping on the Texans. I think that offense is not going to be as hurt as people think by losing DeAndre Hopkins. I think they're going to be just fine. Brandon Cooks might get in the end zone twice tonight. They're
breaks
going
his ankle or snaps a hamstring or hurts his shoulder. Or
why are you wishing Will ill on this man?
I'm not. I'm just giving you. I would put, if you told me an over under right now of negative 1,000 that he gets hurt this season, I would throw $100 on that, like and win 2 cents or whatever the hell it would be. Yeah. Like I don't know, man. There's a reason why he went from New Orleans to New England to LA to Houston. It's not that he's not a good talent of a wide receiver. We see it when he can go out there and is amazing, but that's the problem. He can't stay healthy. And so it's just, I don't know. To me, it's just seems silly. It seems silly to think to put and Fuller. And Fuller so far has been the same thing. To me, it just, I don't know. I think you're putting a lot of hopes on that.
Forced to actually have to force the ball to DeAndre Hopkins because he's that prima donna wide receiver who's a star and he's a stud. I mean, he look, the guy's a stud. He catches just about everything. I'll give him that. But when you have to force the ball to that, you can't. If you're forced to throw to him 20 to 22 times a game, you're not looking in other people's directions.
You got to stop using this word forced with DeAndre Hopkins. Did you think that it was forced to throw to Randy Moss when he was triple covered by Tom Brady or any quarterback before? There's no forcing it. It's an aspect of trusting. There's a difference between force and trust.
There are a lot of times where you force the ball to DeAndre Hopkins. Absolutely.
You know what his catch percentage of the time that he was thrown to him?
No, 90% of Watson's interceptions over his career so far have been forced balls to DeAndre Hopkins.
You're so full of crap. You don't even have the numbers to back something like that up. His catch percentage of every ball thrown to him, which includes interceptions, those are aspects of the stat that is a part of it. It's through the roof. It's through the roof.
Eye test, right?
Sometimes and you're blind as hell, man. Eye test. The guy who still thinks Jameis Winston's a top 10 quarterback in this league.
He is a top 10 quarterback in the league.
You might as well rate him a 99 on Madden.
EJ says, I think this game will be closer than 99 on Madden, than people think, but Kansas City still gets the win. I agree. I have 27-23. James Simons types in and says, that beard is silly.
Thank you. Thank you, James. I think your beard is just as silly, too.
Alan's picking a huge fight because he said the Panthers are better than the Bears always have been. Oh, Jesus Christ. See, that's what you get when you bring my son into sports. Alan is not a sports guy. He's just not. But he's the same kid who, when he came down to visit me here in Chicago and was here for the summer, went out and bought a White Sox hoodie just to piss me off.
Yeah.
So now you just got him doing stuff that is just silly, like saying that the Panthers are better than the Bears. And I mean, come on. Anyway. All right. So what else do we have here? Let's see. Bear down. Hey, you got it, Danito. Absolutely bear down.
One day, did I tell you about one of the first times we ever recorded, and someone in the comments had said something about bear down. It was hashtag bear down, so it was all together, and I thought they were saying beard own, and I was like, it's telling me that I'm owning this beard. That's baller. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. And then 2 days later on Sports Soup, someone was like, bear down, bear down. And I was like, oh, that's...
Oh, my God.
Oh, man. I thought someone liked my beard. Oh, well.
Oh, man. Your brother chiming in here. Steven, I've lived in the Carolinas for years and still have I think I still hate the Panthers, maybe?
Yeah.
I
think he says hate. Yeah, hate. Yep. Yeah, he does. He's a big Patriots fan. He grew up a lot of his young life down in North Carolina. It's what my mom she married a great guy down there, and he turned her into a Panthers fan. And I said, man, whatever. It's not New York. I don't care. But Stevie hated it even more because I think it was expected of him to change. And he was like, no, TB12, baby.
All right. Brandon Jr. says they are wearing the regular helmets and have fans. Yeah, they have 22% of the fans.
Yep, 22%.
In Kansas City. There's some stadiums that are going to be allowing fans in the stands, and then some that aren't. Just depends on the city ordinances. And Kansas City is one of those that's allowing 22% capacity. James Paul Dickinson says, let's go Chiefs. I got money riding on this. I am with you, James Paul. I've got money riding on this too.
I just threw my bet down. I've got the Chiefs covering the 9.5. So that's only minus 105. That's
9.5. You got the Chiefs covering?
Yep. They're gonna win by 13 points.
Woo-wee.
Now, I did that straight up. So here's the thing. People like you that like to dance with parlays, they throw in high-end stuff like that too much. Just if you're going to do parlays, make it where they're much more closer odds and stuff like that. So
9.5 is a lot of points in the NFL.
It is. It's a ton of points
in the NFL.
I've won it multiple times with teams like now. If it was 10.5, to me that's different. A lot of teams can win by that touchdown field goal difference of 10, but 9.5.
Bobby Big Dick.
This guy's on a tear, which sucks because I don't want the Red Sox to keep winning. It's like, the Red Sox are starting to find ways to gel. I'm like, no, gel in 2021.
What's the over-under on J.J. Watt getting hurt this year? Like the guy, but I would say
6.5 games.
Yeah, I take the under.
6.5 games.
Yeah.
I'll give him over. He gets hurt in the 7th game.
Dean, love the game starts at 9:20 in the morning for me.
It's our Korea. Yeah. That's our every time I look at stats for things on other things, I'm like, well, there's one person in Korea watching us. And I'm like,
I bet that you like it that it starts at 9:20 a.m. for you, but people don't look at us as funny when we're drinking a beer watching the game like they would at you at 9:20 in the morning.
Yeah, he's over in Korea. They just think we're fat Americans anyways, so they're just expecting us to be drinking at 9:20 in the morning.
It's true. Pats or Miami predictions? Pats or Miami, and Panthers or Raiders?
Panthers, Pats.
Where's the game at? Is it in Miami or is it in New England?
I think it's in New England.
Right, if it's in New England, I go Pats on that one.
You can't. No. See, you act like I don't remember crap all the damn time. You sat here and picked Miami when we did our picks our last show. It went up and down all of them, and then when you said Dolphins, and here's why, and I said, well, it's going to be New England. I couldn't even get
going
two
through my
words
picks right now. Hold on, let me look.
I couldn't get two words out of my mouth, and you were like, "You homer, of course you would." And then you turned around and picked the freaking Chicago Cubs win the World Series. It's the greatest moment in sports history. But I'm a homer because I said the Pats would win by 2. 19-17.
I stand by it. The Chicago Cubs winning the World Series is the greatest moments in sports history
ever. Panthers are going to beat the Raiders, and I know a lot of people think that will be an upset. The Raiders look scary good. There's a lot of people that are actually saying they're gelling very, very well. But here's the problem. Too many people are looking at last year's Panther team and thinking that's the team that's coming out there. That defense is better. Their wide receivers have another year. They've got an actual great quarterback that knows how to manage the game and play the game, not Allen. CMC will be able to be more methodical in what he's doing, and he's not just doing it all himself. I think we're going to see the Panthers pull an upset. I think they're a better team that people are giving them credit for, and I think the Raiders, a lot better, but I still don't think they're there yet. And I think the Panthers got a team manager in Teddy Bridgewater, and I think he's going to lead them to a victory.
Well, I think that Teddy Bridgewater and the Carolina Panthers are going to be better than what people give them credit for this year. So I agree with you there. But I think in this one,
and it's in Carolina, by the way. This isn't, which is crazy that the Raiders have is that stadium open this year or is it next year?
No,
the Vegas Raiders. Is it this year? How they don't have week 1 in that stadium. The NFL decided to make sure SoFi with the Cowboys is the main event for that stadium, but you don't put that gorgeous black friggin' Roomba vacuum out in Las Vegas on week 1. That's terrible.
James Paul says, I'm ready to see what my Cowboys going to do this year. Well,
10-6 and get to the playoffs. I'll give you that.
I've got them doing worse than that, and I do not have them in the playoffs. And look, I don't like Dak going into a contract year like this, because especially with all the weapons that he has. And here's why. And I get that he's got all the weapons, but I think that he's going to tend to change a lot of plays at the line of scrimmage and not give the ball to Zeke as much as he should. And I think
that's not going to happen.
I think I'm just telling you, I don't like when a quarterback like this has this much money on the line, because he's going to showcase himself. Yeah, and I don't think Dak's that good. I think Dak's overrated.
But I do too. I've told you this many times. I've gone to 2 Cowboys games living down here. Both times, Dak Prescott. One game he had 1 interception. The other game he had 2. The game
he left.
The one he had 2 interceptions on, he should have had 9. He hit the ref. He hit defensive backs right in the chest. They dropped the ball. But I wish he hadn't left, because at least we could both say the fact that we both think Ezekiel Elliott is the best running back in the NFL, and that's one thing that Mr. Combs and I both stand on. Koreans love Americans. I'm not even going to go down. I'm not.
I left it alone. I'm pissed Witten went there. Oh, Vegas. Carolina?
Vegas.
Yeah, Vegas.
Man, no one knows that James Witten went to Vegas. I heard some people thinking that he was still on.
I was thinking Teddy Bridgewater. And
oh, yeah. No, I was listening to sports radio like 2 weeks ago. There was one, it was like NBC Sports Radio, and then one down here. People were like, Witten on the Cowboys. I'm like, he's not on there anymore. Why? Like, I get it's hard, but people don't say Brady's on New England.
Ooh, James.
Wow.
James, you're a Cowboys fan?
Whoa.
Zeke is not overrated. We've already went over this on the show. Zeke is not overrated.
Wait. James, what do you think of Dak? Do you think Dak, seriously, deserves a big contract similar to what we saw with Watson and Mahomes?
Oh, you ready for a hot take? There's a hot take.
Anyone that comes from Green Bay, if people don't know, Joshua Seavey is the biggest Skull fan I know.
You guys did not overpay for it. Look, Zeke, since he's been in the league, has put up the best numbers of any running back, and it's not even close. I wanted, when he came out and said, put respect on my name, I searched every stat, and I wanted to find a reason why he was wrong, and he's not. He is the best running back in the NFL since he's been in the league. He just is.
Yeah, James, I last year I made a statement on a sports page, and I said he is overrated, what you just said. And I had 3 people. One was a Cowboys fan, but the other 2 weren't. And they said, here's why he's not. And they threw stats and numbers and everything. And at first I was like, big deal. It's just numbers. And I looked deeper in it. This man's efficiency rating has not only increased or been at the same level for 4 years straight. He's one of the very few running backs in the history of the NFL to keep an efficiency rating at a high level and either increase it or stay the same 4 years in a row. He is the most efficient running back in the NFL today. And I was proven wrong.
He barely ran last year. What? He led the league in touches. I don't know. That one confuses me.
Last year he had 301 rushes for 1,357 yards, 12 touchdowns, 54 catches for 420 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's a damn hell of a lot of touches and yards and
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's a tough take, especially coming from a Cowboys fan though. I mean, he's digging on his own team, so but look, I mean, the numbers just suggest differently. I've tried finding a way to say Zeke is because I don't like Zeke. I don't like the whole feed me thing. Like it drives me nuts. Like I really hope that one day somebody freaking takes his head off.
That's because no one wants to be fed in Chicago. They don't want to dare get killed.
We're gonna go there. We're gonna go there.
You should be defending your boy Mitch. Come on, man. Defend your boy Mitch like this man should be defending his boy Zeke.
Week three. That's all I keep thinking about. Week 3, because by then there's no way that Mitch should be. I'm saying that.
Hey, kickoff's coming. Here we go, guys.
And I
moment of silence for depression. It's gone. It's gone, baby. We're going.
Paul is right. I think Dak has a lot of potential. And I'll tell you right now, I would take Dak on the Bears, even though I do believe Dak's an overrated quarterback. I think he's better than any of the 2 choices that we have. But, I mean, I still –
Dak is great. The problem is that Dak wants the money that Mahomes got. He wants the money now that Watson's got. He wants the money that Rodgers and Wilson got. The problem is those 4 quarterbacks, Joshua Seavey, cover your ears, have proven their worth to earn those contracts. Even Watson.
But they've proven they can win. Dak hasn't proven he can win.
He had 1 season of 13-3 in the number 1 seed, and that's what he still clamors on. He still clamors on that 1 season, and it's rushed. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, if he doesn't succeed this year, that's going to drop him even lower because I agree with you. He's got great potential, but I don't think he's this quarterback that gets that contract. But you added to me, and I'm a Texas Longhorns fan, and let me tell you, I have not in a while seen a talent like CeeDee Lamb. This kid is unreal. He's smart, he's fast, but he's very accurate with where he runs his routes. He understands defenses. He understands when he needs to hop in the zone. He is phenomenal. And you added him to Amari Cooper and Gallup, you better succeed with those 3. If you don't, you don't deserve a dime close to what you're expecting. You don't.
Jacob Nabels wants to know if we're going to be live streaming the game. We cannot stream the game because of restrictions.
NFL would say no, and they'll slap us on the
down. They would shut down the feed. They would shut down the show for the night. We wouldn't be able to stream, so we cannot live stream. But we are both watching the game. I've got the game on in the background. So does Soup Boss. We're watching the game with you. We are going to be talking about it the entire time. And that being said, we are going to be joined by one of RTF Network's bloggers, Mike Fink, and we're going to get to him here in just a moment. Before we do that, Soup Boss, why don't you tell the people where they can find us and tell them how they can get some free stuff if we could just get some subscribers on YouTube.
This is blowing my mind, guys. Let me first start by we had nearly 1,900, 2,000 people watch one of our streams last week. We know you're all out there, okay? And all I need is about 50 more people to hit a button on YouTube. That's it. That's it. So I'm going to start with this because normally I end it. We have right now, we started with 10, and now we have 9 signed pieces of memorabilia. Real memorabilia. Not garbage, not junk, not crappy ironed-on stuff you get at Walmart. Sorry, Walmart. And you know, hopefully you think that signature is real stuff that Mr. Combs is putting out of his own pocket, okay, that he's given. It's authenticated and everything. These things are worth hundreds of dollars. All you have to do, we're just getting to 100 people. You go on YouTube and you search Triple Shot Sports Podcast. That's it. Go on there, subscribe. And then if we can get to 100 before we go on, before about half hour before our show ends on Sunday night, we'll give away those 9 items. Mr. Combs will do it out of his own pocket. He'll be able to do that. But if we don't get to 100, we're going to have him give some more child abuse and be an angry dad. And he's going to pull another item out of that hat. Guys, this is free.
Don't make me take away your toys.
This is stuff that I guarantee you if I said, hey, there's a Calvin Ridley jersey and you have a chance to win it, but I need $20. And if we pull your name out of the hat, you win it. Most people, at least 100 people would be like, I'll take a chance with $20. We're asking you to just do something that takes 20 seconds. On your phone, YouTube, Triple Shot Sports Podcast, hit subscribe, share, like some videos, help us out, it'd be great. Now, outside of that, we're on Twitter and Instagram at 3 Shot Sports, the number 3 Shot Sports. Get on there, like our stuff, comment. But I want to see YouTube first.
You can get that Vic jersey. All you have to do is go subscribe on YouTube if you have not already. Subscribe to the show on YouTube, and you'll be entered to win the Vic jersey. That's all you have to do.
That's all you have to do. It's all we need.
Do you have your shirt ready for Alan? So you remember the bet that I had with Jesse over at Infinity Sports? The Vikings, not even the Bears, the Vikings do better than the Detroit Lions this year. He has to wear a T-shirt with my face on it on his show. Well, Strikeout Beer came at me and said that Detroit's going to be better than the Bears this year. Again, I disagree. So then they took on the bet and said, hey, if the Bears do better, I'll wear the shirt with your face on it too. All right. So
cool.
So we got 2 bets on there. And then Rapid Dave last night on their show, I shared to our page, Rapid Dave said that he'd wear it anyway. If I just send him the shirt with my face on it, he'll wear it. So throw that Marine hat and shirt in it.
You better clarify the friendship level here there, Mr. Combs, before we get potential military members that are pretty upset and they leave the show.
Bjorn is one of my best friends. He is a decorated Army. You know what Army stands for, by the way? Ain't ready to be Marine yet. But anyway, he is, he's got 2 Purple Hearts over there. He's been blown up twice over in Iraq. And so, he's hit his head a few times. And so he says, but no, look, Bjorn's my boy, will always be for life. And we just go back and forth at each other all the time with military stuff. He probably didn't think that I would throw that up on the screen, but joke's on you. Now you're going to have a bunch of Marines coming at you. At any rate, so we're going to take a quick break here, quick 30-second break. We will come back. We will have Mike Fink on the show, and we will talk some football. He is very anxious to talk football with you guys. He is one of the bloggers for RTF Sports Network. We'll be right back. What's going on, Triple Shot Sports family? This is Brandon Combs, host of the best podcast on the planet. That's the Triple Shot Sports Podcast. Be sure to join myself and Soup Boss Chad Lounder live for 2 hours. Yes, I said 2 hours every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern and 7 p.m. Central on the RTF Sports Network Facebook page and YouTube. And if you miss any part of the show, you can hear us every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on your drive home at 5 p.m. Eastern on rtfsportsnetwork.com. All right, so we are back, and as we were on break, Patrick Mahomes threw an absolute rocket into the end zone, and what a catch by Robinson in the end zone with a defender all over him. To hang on to that football was absolutely insane. Chiefs are up 6-0, about to be 7-0 on the Houston Texans.
He had him beat, and again, of course, I'm freaking behind you. I don't understand how I'm constantly behind you. So I was seeing it as you're going into it. So you blew it for me. But he was wide. He was wide open. He was wide open. So I don't think it was an amazing catch as much it was if it stays, it'll be an amazing grab because the defender caught back up and timed his arm in there perfectly. So I love to root for the defense. I love to root for the cornerback. So I hope that corner got his just due, being able to come back. And he was burned by a step and a half. That's great timing right there. And then the clean hit, yeah, that's not a catch. That's not a catch.
All right, real quick before we bring Mike, Bjorn wants to know, are the Bills a sleeper? I told him this. The Bills can't be a sleeper because everybody's picking them to win the AFC East.
There's no sleeper aspect. In fact, I've heard more people put the Bills now in the AFC Championship game than I thought possible. There's a ton of people doing it.
It's definitely not a sleeper.
It's not a sleeper anymore.
So, welcome to the show, Mike Fink. Mike, what's going on, buddy?
Not much. Must apologize if I'm looking up because I'm busy watching Patrick Mahomes throw dimes and.
That's all we're doing. We just look up constantly. I look up just
more excited for this.
I try to avoid eye contact with Mr. Combs, so I look up so I don't have to look at his ugly mug half the time. So I get you, Mike. Don't worry about it.
Why you got to go there?
This is an exciting
wrapped up, baby.
Season. This is good. This is like one that like we're really like happy that it's happening. It's really a big moment. Like
we are.
When baseball threw out that first pitch, I was legitimately crying because it was like we finally got sports back, and now it's like we got football back. So it's like we're really, it's really
no one cares about baseball anymore, right, Combs? We got football. We don't need baseball.
Over to the Cubs game.
Just to contemplate, October is going to have 3 championships in that month.
Mm-hmm.
Something to contemplate.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
If the Stanley Cup playoffs go in to the October.
Yeah. Look, I'm excited just because football is back. I love football too. Plus baseball pennant chases are heating up. So that's always fun. For me, I'm a baseball guy through and through. So watching, baseball, watching the playoff races, watching these teams that are battling out, especially through the 60-game season, I'll continue to be tuned into that. Even on Sundays, especially this Sunday night, where we talked about this last week. They didn't even make the Buccaneers and Saints the Sunday night game of the week. So thankful for that because I can watch some Sunday night baseball instead of Sunday night football this week.
Yeah, I like the MLB. I'm a huge fan of baseball. The only problem I've had is that I have no idea when my team plays anymore because they could play any time of day and they could be missing days. And all of a sudden I'll be like, wait, they played at 5:00 today. And I'd be like, oh wait, they had a doubleheader of 5-inning games. And it's like, oh, I guess like I guess they played.
Oh, he didn't even say that. He didn't even just rip them for the 7 innings there, Combs. He went and trashed them more and said it was 5 innings.
Yeah.
I know it is 7. They do the 7 and 7, but like the Cardinals have to play like 40 games in 30 days or something ridiculous.
They have 21 starting tonight. They have it was 19 games or no 27 games in 20 days is what they have. But that's their own fault though. That's their own fault because they decided to go to the club during COVID and catch COVID. So I have
COVID. He help in the club.
Cubs fan and have no sympathy for the Cardinals anyway, but I definitely don't have sympathy for them in that aspect at all.
How did this turn into baseball talk? It's freaking football season.
About football, though, with COVID.
Don't get Combs into baseball, Mike. He won't shut up. You will get him going. He won't stop. U-turn. They're going to overrule the call. It's not going to be a catch. Let's talk football, baby.
And Patrick Mahomes got sacked. On the COVID note, though, what do you think a team?
10 minutes.
Is there a motivation for a team like the Jaguars to play out a season, and not that's one of the fears someone said is that if a team starts out 1-6, why would they continue to isolate and not go to
I said that too about baseball when that season started, but I feel like every guy that's in the NFL is competitive, and not only are they playing for that season and for their team, but they're also showcasing what they can do for future teams, because some of them are going to be free agents either this year, next year, the year after. So that's where their motivation is. Money is their motivation. The future contracts are their motivation. So I think that's where the motivation. I don't think you'll have any problems with that at all.
I don't think you have any problems with it, because every single year you have trashy teams. You have teams that just suck. That start the year 2-10 and have zero chance, but guess what? They still go out there. Now, they may not be playing where they're trying to be the most explosive player, especially if their contract's already set, but they're still going to go out there and play. I get the COVID aspect, but we've now seen them run full practices, scrimmages, and everything, and they've had one positive test. The NFL has done a great job of trying to ensure that this isn't going to happen. To me, I don't think just because a team starts 1-6 because there's COVID, it changes their mentality. Teams go 1-6 all the time, and they still play.
There's also got to be the season completion bonus and the game checks that are always an incentive anyway. So
they get a ton of money every single game to play. That's their incentive. I want to get paid.
All right, so you don't want to contract COVID, you miss a game, that's a game check.
Yeah. So, Mike, you came to me and said, hey, I'd like to come on and talk about some of my predictions, and opening night would be a perfect night to do it. Super Bowl and I did our predictions already, and it was scary how much we agreed, especially through the division picks. I mean, the way we operate with our shows, we don't tell each other who we're picking where, or if we do a top 5 list, we don't tell each other's top 5 lists until we get into the show, and we learn as we go what the other one has picked. And so the fact that we agree, I mean, we scarily agreed. The AFC we picked pretty much identical we definitely identical as far as division winners. All across the board, I think all through the AFC and NFC. So we have the same division winners all through the AFC and NFC.
Hated it.
So, let's go with your predictions here. So Soup and I both have the Buffalo Bills running away. Well, I have them running away. Soup has it a closer division than I do because he's a New England fan, so he can't bear the thought of New England being horrible.
Two games with the Bills losing the last game because they already had it once. So it's a 3-game. It's not close.
At 9-7, I have them at 5-11.
I have the Pats at 9-7, the Bills 11-5, and not having to play their last game. Shut up and keep going.
All right. So Homer has the Buffalo Bills still winning the division.
Yeah,
I have
Homer.
Buffalo Bills in the division. What do you have in the AFC East?
So I picked the Bills to win the division, around 10-6, 11-5.
Yep.
They could be a team that goes 14-2. I don't see that happening.
No.
This is a team. The Bills are going to be good. They of course can unravel, but they're going to be a good team to watch this year. The Patriots, I wanted to pick them to win the division. I didn't pick them. I think they're going to go 9-7 in that range.
This guy's
same
a genius,
as lots of Soup, but they're like a borderline playoff team. There's a few reasons.
Guys who opted out on that defense?
Yeah, that's what I'm nervous about. Then again,
I would be too. That's why I have him at 5-11.
Then again, they still bring back Stephon Gilmore.
Yep.
And as Bill Belichick taught us, He's very good at using interchangeable parts, especially on defense.
Oh yeah,
and absolutely. As a coach in general, he's going to give his team a chance to win every game.
But there's a difference between interchangeable parts and parts that are not the same talent level as the ones that you lost.
The big one is Dante Hightower.
Remember, the Patriots went to the Super Bowl. The Patriots went to a Super Bowl with both Hightower and Chung getting hurt and being out of the season the year that they went and beat the Cardinals, the Falcons, one of the bird teams. They lost both Chung and Hightower and still got to the Super Bowl.
Hightower played that game.
I'm not predicting them to win the damn friggin' Super Bowl, man.
Dante Hightower played against the Falcons. He had that
crap. You're right. Run. Never mind. It
was the game. It was the year after when he got hurt. They played the Eagles, and that defense did not look as good. They brought in James Harrison, so the Patriots can bring in those guys. But what makes Belichick a good coach? I'm not a fan of the Patriots. What makes him a good coach is he makes a game plan that gives his team a chance. So it will be an offensive shootout against one team. They'll win a game 45-40, and then they'll win a game 9-0. But it's the idea that we'll create a game plan where it's preparing to give our team a chance to win every single game. So the Patriots are going to be competitive. They're going to be in every game they play because Belichick is going to create that game plan. I don't think they're going to win a lot of games like that.
They're going to get blown out of the water in a couple games, man. I'm sorry. I'm a lifelong, all my life Patriots fan. You know, in the cold when I was a young kid in old Foxborough Stadium on the friggin' cold bleachers, dew, bleed, red, white, and blue, everything. They're going to get blown out of a couple games this year. There's going to be some reality checks that happen, which I think benefits a guy like Belichick who's going to pull the whole we're on to Cincinnati thing, scare the living crap out of his team, and it's going to help them win some closer games. But I don't think they're in every single game this year. There's going to be a couple games we're going to see a different Patriots team. I'm sorry.
I think maybe early on there's going to be that one game. They usually have like a September loss that's like really like an eye opener. But this team is also worse. They're gonna start. I looked at their schedule. They're gonna start out like with like those early 7 losses. They're gonna start, and then all of a sudden, the end of the season, they play their division again, which Belichick knows inside out. That's gonna help them. And they play other easy opponents later on in the season that I think they can pull a few wins together and get a run. And also Cam Newton is probably going to figure out the offense around week 7 or 8, or they're going to figure out what they want to run with him.
Yeah, better hope he's not getting himself injured. The biggest thing that they need to do is ensure that they teach him you need to throw the ball away. You do not have to get a 2-yard run. And if you get a 2-yard run, slide. Don't lower your shoulder. Don't try to take out the linebacker. We don't need you to do that. That's my biggest concern with Cam Newton.
Something to keep note of if you are a Patriots fan, they drafted 2 tight ends. If one of them is at least serviceable enough, their offense is not going to be great, but it's going to be good enough.
Keen's going to be good. Keen's going to be good.
Yeah, the wild card with the offense, I don't think it's the tight end. I don't think it's the receivers. I don't think it's the running back. It's Cam Newton. If things start out in New England where they are 1-3, 2-4, 3-5, something of that aspect, we've seen Cam Newton's got a potential to just shut down and not perform. And so that's why I don't have them, whether it was Stidham or whether I thought Cam Newton made them better until the defense left. But I don't know. I just don't see it. So what do you have for the NFC North or the AFC North? I'm sorry. We both have Baltimore winning that division. I have Baltimore at 14-2. Soup has them at 13-3. We both have Pittsburgh, Cleveland, and Cincinnati in that order. He's got Pittsburgh 11-5. I have him at 10-6. We both have Cleveland at 8-8, and we both have Cincinnati just, squeaking by with 3 and 4 wins respectively.
All right,
which I think is good.
I have the Ravens. They're going to be again like 1 or 2 seed between them and the Chiefs. 1 or 2 seed. I think this year it's interesting because if it was the 6 seed playoffs, I think the Ravens would have taken it down a notch, not like less competitive each game, but they wouldn't be so urgent to get the 1 seed, settle for the 2 seed, and then kick it into another gear to win the Super Bowl. This year, the 1 seed is the bye week. You get that one bye week.
It's going to change a lot this year. I think that's going to put a nice dynamic into the postseason. I think it's terrible that we have to add another football team. It's obviously just for ratings, but we're all going to watch, and I think it's actually going to add a nice dynamic to it.
They're going to put the Texans on at 4:00 again. If they could have put them at 1:00, they would. That it's the known like Texans get that ESPN 1:00 or 4:00 first game. They're like, all right, let's get that out of the way. So in terms, basically summarize my Super Bowl pick. I look at 5 things, 5 tools in every team.
This feels like when you watch YouTube and you have one of those like ads in the beginning, and it's like, I'm going to share with you 5 secrets that make you a millionaire, but only for you. These are only 5 secrets. It's only meant for you.
Yeah, I mean, basically, every team I've looked at has like 4 out of 5, or at least 5 out of 5, and they're a Super Bowl champion with those. Basically, every good team has good coach, good quarterback, O-line, defensive depth, defensive game changers. That in mind, like, that's basically how I made my pick.
All right. Well,
you want me to
look? I mean, there's no. I think that is definitely the key to success in the NFL for any team. I mean, good coach, good quarterback, good defense. I mean, it's definitely the key. I think that, the Baltimore Ravens I have them as the 1 seed. I have them in the Super Bowl against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this year. That's my Super Bowl. I have Tampa and Baltimore, and I have Tampa ultimately winning it. But I have Baltimore doing really well. I have them at 14-2, so I don't think that they're, I think their defense, their quarterback, their coach, I think they have the entire package that you were just talking about there.
I had the Ravens also in the Super Bowl. I've been going like 13-3, 14-2.
He's already you got to build up to this, Mike. We got to give you a little lesson. You got to build up to it. You might as well just tell us your other Super Bowl team and screw the picks, man.
I know, I might as well, because like how much time do we have? Should I drag it out?
I don't know. If you're on and talking baseball, all the time in the damn world for Combs to drag it out.
I mean, I could tell you why I didn't pick each team, but the teams that in the article that's coming out, I went through each team that is a contender and explained why I didn't pick them.
Okay,
I didn't pick the Bucs, which is I think both your picks.
You didn't pick the Bucs.
I didn't pick the Bucs to get in the Super Bowl.
Seahawks in the Super Bowl.
I got the Seahawks, baby.
Yeah,
MVP Russell Wilson.
See, look, here's why I have a hard time not putting the Bucs in the Super Bowl. In 2 words, Tom Brady.
Yep.
They're going to get to the playoffs. I have them winning the South. Even if they don't win the South, they're at least going to be in the playoffs. They're at least going to be the second best team in the South and be in the playoffs. And I just have a hard time picking against Tom Brady in big games.
Texans getting a touchdown, by the way. Texans get a touchdown. Duke Johnson with a run.
Yeah. Is it Duke or David Johnson?
David, I think.
Because he dropped the pass earlier, and I'm like, oh, here we go. This great trade by Bill O'Brien, who's a bad head coach
in the NFL.
Yeah. Basically, I didn't pick the Bucs. On the Bucs note, I didn't pick them because of two things three things concern me. But I'm again becoming a YouTube ad. But basically, there's always been these teams that bring in a bunch of stars, always come in. The Rams 2 years ago, when they brought in Ndamukong Suh, they brought in Brandon Cooks, and when you bring in all these stars to win 1 year, it just doesn't work out. It's just the way the league is. The Browns last year, of course, we shouldn't use the Browns as an example for success in anything, but they brought in Odell Beckham, Sheldon Richardson. They brought in all these stars for one run, and it was like, oh, we're going to win this year. We're going to actually win this year, and it all fell apart. But you look at the history of the league, there's always that team of the offseason that brings in a bunch of stars, doesn't work, and it doesn't work out. That was the first concern. The other 2 are O-line, which I know Tristan Wirfs is a big pick for that reason. O-line, very important, especially with Tom Brady, and secondary, which was the same problem I had the Browns last year, where if teams can throw on you, which they can if you don't have a good secondary, it becomes a grueling problem. It's okay. So those are the three big things.
So who do you have in the Super Bowl out of the NFC?
So there were three teams I just decide between, but at the end of the day, I went with the Seahawks.
Okay. He agrees with you.
Guys, guy knows what he's talking. Man, this guy's pretty smart. I'm glad you brought him on, and we started talking freaking baseball with him.
You have Seahawks and Chiefs. He's got Seahawks and Ravens.
He's got 50% more of what I pick. I don't give two craps.
What I picked too, you moron.
Yeah, I don't care. But he also has the Patriots at 9-7. You idiot.
I didn't watch you. You watch your prediction. I'm sorry I missed that, but
you're hearing it. This is all you would have heard is us bitching and bickering at each other, Mike. You didn't really miss anything.
But the Seahawks are this year. It's really they finally have the roster that they haven't had since 2014 or 2013, where there's not a lot of the 5 tools. I think they only miss one of my 5 tools.
Oh, 5 tools. I love this. The 5 tools. I'm going to give you the 5 tools for success. NFL.
I mean, team. I could have called it the 5 downs, but there's only 4 in football, so it doesn't really help.
It would have been catchy, like the 5 downs, and people would have been like, "There's not 5, there's 4," and then you got them. You got them with a hook.
Unless there's like a penalty that allows you to replay the down, then I mean, technically you've got 5 downs, right?
There was a 5th down game. I think it was Colorado versus like BYU or something. It was a random team versus Colorado, or it might have actually been a rivalry game where they forgot the first down, and then they gave them another first down, and then they had 4. They scored on 4th down, but it was really 5th down, so it really shouldn't have been a touchdown. You look it up, called the 5th down. It's a weird story, but
that's crazy.
Hey, with that, by the way, guys, just real quick, going back on gambling, see, we're talking of football. If you want to get in on the Chiefs now. -117, 4.5 because Houston went ahead. You can still bet live on most places, so you can get it for -117 at 4.5 for the Chiefs to win. That's a damn good bet.
Your -9.5 is not looking good so far.
I've started with betting.
-24 didn't look good up to halftime last year. Who gave 2 craps? I'm not worried about it.
I did not bet on this game. I have been betting like since sports returned since last year.
Yep.
I will say this was a game I couldn't touch. Just too much. This is the first game out of the gate. You don't know how players are going to tackle. And the 9-point spread is too risky to go because this is one of the games that could be a rout for the Chiefs, but it could also be a Texans. It could go either way. Wouldn't have touched this game.
Jamie Hudson, let's go Bucks. I agree. I have them all the way to the Super Bowl, Jamie. I am with you. All right. So, Mike, why don't you tell the people, where they can find your blogs and what you got coming up here?
Oh, pause real quick. Did we get a Super Bowl winner?
Oh, yeah. We're going to go with the Ravens, who the Ravens beat the Seahawks in a run-heavy game.
Get this guy off here. He ain't good anymore.
Doesn't care anymore.
Because I don't get crap. Well, it's not my winner. I still got the Chiefs winning, but if you don't have the Chiefs in there, give it to the Seahawks at least. Give it to the MVP. Yeah, whatever.
I have Russell Wilson winning the MVP, but I think everyone does this year because
you're just trying to get on my good graces now. Forget it. You blew it.
I mean, I should say like one thing then to annoy Brandon while right before I leave then, but
I control the mute on the mic.
I mean, I could get the trifecta. I don't know. Annoy myself too. But what's the name? I write for RTF. I'm writing every day now for them. I write a daily column for NHL games. I don't know if you guys are hockey people. Called
Nah, we hate hockey. We don't talk about it every show.
I've actually been reading them. It's really good stuff. If you guys, and especially if you're one of those people out there that don't watch hockey because you don't understand hockey, definitely check out Mike's blog on hockey because it's good stuff.
It's on Talking Point Sports. It's called Puck It. I don't know if that's a good title for it.
I like it.
But yeah. Other than that, I mean, like, basically now that football's back, I'm gonna just like churn out football stuff. Which is great.
The way life should be.
Yeah. I guess the one thing I should say is that everyone remembers that Patrick Mahomes was taken after Mitch Trubisky was taken. People don't remember that the Bears in the second round took a tight end from a college that I never heard of. And what's worse is that in the fifth round, George Kittle was the tight end that was taken.
Mike,
basically, the Bears took a tight end who's not on their team anymore, and George Kittle went a few rounds later.
Which is hilarious because the Bears have like 9 tight ends on their team when they drafted Komet this past draft.
I mean,
boy, Mike, I can't wait to have you back on.
I already upset Soup Boss, so I needed.
That's not hard to do. That's not hard to do.
But yeah, a lot of teams took tight ends, so the Bears kind of get a pass on that draft, where 3 tight ends were taken in the first round and George Kittle was taken in the 5th. But what's really puzzling at the time was that nobody heard of the college that the tight ends was taken from that the Bears took. They were like,
you know who else
Ashland
ever heard of? Mitch Trubisky. Nobody else ever heard of Mitch Trubisky, and the Bears traded up to draft him. God.
One pick. You know who the pick? What's worse is the picks that they traded became Alvin Kamara and Fred Warner.
Yep.
All right, Mike. Thanks for joining us. Everybody, check out Mike's blogs on RTF. Have a good night, Mike.
This was fun. I love this.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, I'll see you guys.
What the? So,
That's what we get for just starting football talk with baseball talk. It ended that way. That's what, I knew what the 2 picks had turned into, and I've never brought it up. And then when he started going, do you know what the picks were? I almost peed myself in laughing because I knew it was coming.
Do you know what I'm doing right now?
Oh, mute me or
Ancestry.com to figure out if he's your brother. You set that whole interview up.
Oh, that was great. Everything was great. Woo. All right. I feel all right. All right. I'm good. You're not, but I am.
We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. What's going on, Triple Shot Sports family? This is Brandon Combs, host of the best podcast on the planet. That's the Triple Shot Sports Podcast. Be sure to join myself and Soup Boss Chad Lounder live for 2 hours. Yes, I said 2 hours every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern and 7 p.m. Central on the RTF Sports Network Facebook page and YouTube. And if you miss any part of the show, you can hear us every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on your drive home at 5 p.m. Eastern on rtfsportsnetwork.com.
Tragedies, how God we get this long dream? How we can get your car? Religion raised politics, take a thing, talk about it, rush quick, it's a bitch folk song. What a bitch me up for the last time. We gotta change now, we don't have time. Black blood, one nation on the God, we go underdog. Black blood.
All right, so we are back. Kansas City Chiefs are trying to get into the end zone. Travis Kelce gets stopped on the 5-yard line. Second and goal there now. Houston's still up 7-0 about second quarter just started. So 14:45 to go in the second quarter. Hey, look, Mike Fink's a good writer for RTF Sports Network. If you have not checked out the blogs, definitely check out the blogs. Good stuff until he started talking about the Bears draft, making me.
I calmed myself down when you had to bring it up. Come on, man.
God. At any rate, all right. So as I sit here and watch Patrick Mahomes scramble and throw an incomplete pass in the end zone, third and goal there. We had some things happen in baseball last night that would have made the Texas Rangers poop themselves on the field.
If it had happened.
The Braves put up 29 on Miami Marlins. The game was never even close. The Braves put up a 11 spot in the second inning. Then had the nerve to put up another 6 in the fifth inning, and we're still scoring in the seventh inning. And the Texas Rangers' heads were exploding.
What's crazy is that the Rangers won their game against the Angels yesterday 7-3, so they probably were thinking like, "Oh, right, we feel good." And then they saw the Brewers, and they were like, and then they saw the Braves game, and they were like, and they just lost it. They didn't know what to do. Like
Travis in the end zone right now with the touchdown, so 7-7 here. But yeah, I look, the Braves. What were they supposed to do? I mean, yeah, Duvall had 3 home runs, and could they have taken him out of the game? Sure, but why? Why would you want to take out your starters? Like I heard, I was listening to On and Off the Field today, and our buddy Dylan over there, who is always talking sports, and he's very take the foot off the pedal sometimes, and he said it was a little bit too much, and I said, why is it too much? If anything, it was too much. The only thing that was too much last night was how bad the Miami pitching was. That was too much. Like, get the guys out. Like, do something to stop them. Why should they have to stop trying to score?
To me, it's an aspect that we talked about this with the San Diego thing. If you let off, what does the other team do? They don't let off. So why are you expected to let off?
Right.
Now, some people will say, hey, if you keep pushing too hard and a guy gets hurt, that's on you. Well, guess what? If that guy gets hurt because in the beginning of the game you're pushing hard to win, it's in the same aspect. Like if it's so now if it's because you're winning by 10 runs instead of 1 run, it's a worse injury. No, it's still the same injury. And it's good to get your younger players in and to see them, but it doesn't mean the other team stops unless you see that other team. Now, I will give you this. If the other team puts in all their backups, you see it in basketball a lot. The teams get blown out. They can't do it. They pull all their starters. They pull all their first bench guys, and they start putting in their undrafted rookies and G League guys and all that stuff. That's a coach just being like, we're not. I just want to see them play. We're not going to come back against you. Then fine, pull back. But it blows me.
Players, do you tell your bench guys not to try to score?
Well, no. But then at that point, you give either your next guys, your normal bench starters, more time to go against them because they're even better, or you give your G League guys, but you still have them make effort. That's the only time I think I'm okay with you, quote unquote, pulling back. But like you said, I'm not pulling them back and telling them go out there and just sit on the court, go out there and just set at third base and kind of shrug your shoulders. Like, no, they're going to still play.
And after the 11-run inning in the second inning, the Marlins still scored 9 runs. So
they still got 9. It
still would have been a game if the Braves had said, you know what, we're killing them. Let's take our foot off the pedal. And now all of a sudden you're in a 2-run game. Like it's not like I don't know. Stop me. That's what I'm gonna say. You know what I mean? Stephen Jean, love the hoodie, Mr. Combs. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. One of my favorites. It's got the can't see it there with the thing, but you got the logo, you got the logo on the sleeve, you got the American flag here, we got the skull, USMC. It was one of my favorites. I picked it up about a year ago, so I appreciate the love.
And that is from my brother who is in the Army, by the way. So in the Army, and he knows how to show the love.
We're all on the same team. And, most Army guys are all right, except for that Bjorn Kai. I don't know what's wrong with
Why has he got a J in his name?
The other thing here is, so I was listening to MLB Network, and Mike Mad Dog Russo had a thing where he showed the interview from last night with Javier Baez, and Javier Baez said, look, I'm slumping this year, and I don't understand why we can't use video in the game. It's because they're afraid that we're cheating, but we weren't the ones that were cheating. So why are we being punished? I can't adjust in the game because I can't watch video. And I get it to a point because, look, even though video went a long time without being a part of this game, being able to watch in-game video and all that stuff, a long time before in-game video became a thing in baseball. But Javier Baez is of the era where that's what they've done since they were kids. They watch in-game video. That's how they came up. That's how they've practiced. That's how they made it to where they're at. And now you're taking that aspect away from them. I kind of feel like it's a cop-out just because he is he's only hitting 206 right now. And so
if you're hitting 206 and the only reason that your slump is because of in-game video, you're not as good of a player as you're trying to say you are. I'm sorry. Like, I get what you're saying, and you're right. This is what they've had. But there are other ways to understand this. There are coaches that can help you through it. You see pitchers, like the pitchers don't go in and look at the video. Yeah. Pitchers sit down with their catcher, and they talk about what was going through everything. Batters get to go. They have batting coaches. They literally have coaches just for their batting that they can go and say, man, I just don't know why I was off so much, or how did I miss that pitch so badly? And they're going to sit there and analyze because that's their job. So I get that it takes away an aspect of it, but one thing, it takes away the aspect for everyone. And not everyone is having terrible slumps like he is. They're just not. And the other thing is just if that was the only way you were allowed to review yourself in game, and that was taken away, and there were no coaches or no other ways of doing it, I would say that you would have every right to be so upset. But I think if you're copping out saying that you're a 206 batter and it is all because of the video, you're not as good of a player as you think you are.
Okay, well then, so let me ask you this question: how good is Christian Yelich? He's a top 3 player in baseball right now. He's hitting 213 right now.
I think he's a good player.
And he's said he's come along the same lines and said the same thing.
So if you slump, it's a video. There's nothing else that you can do.
No.
So a couple players that have.
I even said that it sounds like a little bit of a cop-out to me, but I also understand his point of view where this is something that he's always done, so maybe it's hurting his game a little bit. Christian Yelich is slumping. Your guy over there in Boston, why can't I think of his name right now? JD Martinez is having a really bad year.
He was starting to have a bad year last year. It's not just video.
What I'm saying is these guys are creatures of habit. And if you take something away, and that baseball's always been a game of comfort, and it's always been a game of habits, it's always been a game of I used to watch Nomar in Boston every time after every pitch, had to come out, tap his gloves and all that other junk that he did, take him 30 seconds to get back in the box, but he had to do it because if he didn't do it, he didn't feel like he could hit.
Do you know I don't care. Do you know what the best players in every sport do? They adjust.
I agree. And
that's the difference. So if you want to be considered as one of the best, and you're going to toss out blame when there are other avenues. Again, if there were not other avenues, I get it, but there are other avenues. But you're going to throw full blame. You're not as good as you think you are then, just because you're a creature of habit.
Though, too. I mean, you look at guys like to your point, Mookie Betts isn't having a bad season. A lot of young players, Fernando Tatis isn't having a bad season. The Braves didn't have no trouble hitting the ball yesterday. I mean, they scored 29 runs. So I get, but
for the couple guys that are not doing as well, there's far more players that are doing just as good or better this year.
Individual is their own person. They do their own things, and maybe that is the reason. Why does MLB feel like because of what the Houston Astros did, you can't allow other teams who weren't doing it to use in-game video.
Because it's the aspect. You're a dad. You ruin this for everyone. It's the aspect of we knew it when we were growing up in school. If you get caught cheating, using this one way, you ruin it for everyone. It's just one of those aspects. And to me, what if Major League Baseball said they had other things that hadn't come out or other investigations where they got close and they just said, you know what? No more video anymore. We think we're just going to – you have batting coaches for this. What would you do? You would never adjust?
Before, too. I mean –
right. Well, that's what I'm saying. So if they decided for not just because the Astros are just this year or something, if they decided from now on, moving forward, they will never allow in-game video again, well, what's your excuse going to be? Are you not going to adjust? Adjust.
Yeah.
I get that it's easier said than done for some people. I'm not an idiot. I'm not saying that it is an automatic thing that everyone can do because we're all different.
Right.
But if you want to be a professional athlete, you've got to adjust. Every league goes through rule changes. Every league shifts in different things. Every league changes their formats for things like playoffs and stuff like that. They're all trying to keep up ratings and stuff. And I get that sometimes causes slumps right away for some people, but usually the best athletes gain traction and they come back out of it and they end up adjusting. If you're flat out going to only blame it on that and you can't say, I've got to do some more to adjust. I wish they had kept the cameras in there because it helped me a lot, but I've got to find ways to adjust to it just like everyone else. That would be the way to say it. But if you want to lay full blame on just because, well, why did the MLB allow this to happen? It's not fair. I'm sorry. I guess it's the dad in me, but quit throwing a damn hissy fit. You paid a lot. You paid a lot of money to be adjust.
He didn't throw a hissy fit. They asked him a question. What do you attribute, your struggles to? And he answered it honestly. And for him, he believes his struggles are because he can't watch in-game video. And so, look, again, I said it already. I think it's a bit of a cop-out. Do I think there's some validity to it, though? Yeah, probably. For guys like him and maybe even Christian Yelich, who has said the same thing. Christian Yelich is one of those guys you could not get out the last 2 or 3 seasons. Yep. You just couldn't. And now he's hitting 213. So maybe there is something to some of these guys who are saying they need the in-game video to be able to adjust to the things that they're doing because that's what they were taught. So
if you need it and you're always going to need it, you're going to end up being on the outside. So I get the struggle, and I get when you have something. We talked about it. I talk about it all the time, right? With the egos of these players. If you're always coddled all the way through from middle school, you're going to believe that you're the greatest thing. If you're always using some type of video coming up through stuff, you're always going to be comfortable with it. Right. But at some point, you have to be able to look at something and say, okay, that attributed to me not doing well, and it sucks.
Right.
I got to find a way to adjust and do better because my team deserves better out of me. My coaches deserve better. The city that buys the jerseys with my name on the back deserve better. And that's, I don't know. I guess it's just me. I guess just, and you're right. He was just answering the question. This isn't like he came out and goes, I want everyone to know this is why I'm slumping. He was asked a question and he answered it honestly. But when he says it's not fair, when that came out, that just I don't know. I cringe a little bit because if it wasn't fair because you can't do it, but another team gets to do it, you're right. It's not fair. But no one gets to do it. And blame the Astros on them. It's their fault. But everyone is having it. It's the Astros messed up. Now everyone gets their toys taken away. It sucks. But you got to find a way to do it.
Yeah, I don't disagree. You're a pro. You got to be a pro, and you have to figure it out. And especially a guy like Javi Baez, who the Cubs they need him. They down the stretch, they need him to figure this thing out.
Yep.
And if he doesn't, then they're in trouble.
Yep. I agree. They really need him.
But they're just in trouble. You look at the St. Louis Cardinals, who are hot on their heels. They were destroying Detroit in game. I don't know what they've done. I have to look at it right here, right now. But they were destroying Detroit in game 1 of their doubleheader today. And they were getting ready for game 2 when we came on the air. And let's see here. Let's see what's going on in baseball right now. You had the Chiefs destroyed the Indians today. Or the Chiefs, the Royals destroyed
the Indians,
Yeah. And then
the Cardinals won 12-2, and then they lost 6-3.
Okay, so they split the doubleheader with the Cardinals. Yep. That's the other thing that we're talking about. There is the Cardinals with all their games that they're playing. Man, are they going to be? They're even though they're not playing tough teams necessarily, they're going to be in trouble down the stretch. Then you had the A's beat the Astros. That's a big win for them. The Royals beating the Indians is huge for White Sox fans
and Twins fans.
And Twins fans, yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, look, I love Javi Baez, but you've got to figure it out, and you've got to find a way. So, the Chiefs. Did you see that just a few minutes ago, where Deshaun Watson was running out of bounds, and he ran out of bounds.
He sat next to Patrick Mahomes and tapped him.
Yeah, good moment.
Good moment. The league needs stuff like that, where we continue to grow this league, and you've got the future stars, the guys we grew up with, the Bradys and the Roethlisbergers and the Aaron Rodgers. They're at the end of their careers, and so these are the future, and that's why I love Patrick Mahomes winning the Super Bowl last year, because it was good to see the future win it. No offense to guys like Drew Brees, who I'd love to see one more, but these guys need to be the faces. He's now the face. But having a guy like Watson, who is also a face, to go over there and to show, like, we're going to go on this field and compete and want to beat each other, but we're going to have some good time doing it, where we're going to respect one another. That's one thing about why the Manning and Brady thing was, I think, to me, was so amazing, is because when they went on that field, they wanted to kill each other. They didn't want the other person to win. They wanted everything to do to annihilate the other player, but at the same time, they had such an immense respect for one another. They really did, and that's led to, since Peyton's retired, having some joking calls and interviews and commercial type things with him, and Brady shooting back, and you can tell they genuinely enjoy being around each other. So that was good interaction. I think that's good for the NFL fans to see. That's for sure.
Yeah, they're watching J.J. Watt line up at defensive tackle, just jumped the snap there and went off sides, and he had a clear path at Mahomes.
I can't believe they didn't blow that whistle earlier, because it was right off the snap. I mean, he literally he jumped it. He jumped it and then put his arm right over that center. Yeah. And he was going dead at Mahomes. And that's like I said, that's your face. And Mahomes even fumbled the snap a little bit. They ended up blowing it. He didn't get touched if you're not watching the game. Right. But at the same time, that was close. Because Watt's not going to stop until you blow that whistle. Even if he knew that he was offsides, he's going to go do everything to hit Mahomes with everything he's got. So
this Edwards-Helaire is running all over Houston right now.
Every league that I could get him in, which was hard, and a lot of the keepers and stuff. But I had a couple of leagues I drafted in last night where 2 out of the 3, people were just like smack talking him. Like I get it. Some people can't believe that with the draft boards, he popped up a lot higher than he was a month ago. It was in the first round instead of the second or third.
Yeah.
But people were trashing him. I had late picks in 2 out of the 3 leagues. I got him right at the end of the first round. I was like, and these are keeper leagues where a lot of the other good players are already gone. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, but he's running all over Houston right now. He looks like, to me, I haven't seen the stats yet, but it does look like he's averaging probably about 5-6 yards a carry so far. I'll have to look that up here in a minute. But so then we got the NBA playoffs and NHL playoffs, which are still ongoing. You've got
baby.
Right now, let's take a look, see what I got for scores here. You got the Lakers are all over Houston right now, 99-78. So that series looks like it's about to go 3-1 Lakers, and that series will be over in 5. And let's see here. What did we have? Yesterday, the Raptors forced Game 7 on the Celtics, man.
What a game. Yeah. What a fight by the Raptors, who fought back to take the lead after they were down pretty decent chunk. So they didn't just fall flat like they did the game before.
Cost me my 13 parlay, them bastards.
Well, hey, it happens. That's what you get for shitting on my Boston team. So, but Celtics came back. They ended up getting a lead, and they just didn't stop fighting. And just some amazing that second overtime. Not only the fact that they were just hot. I mean, seven buckets without missing in a row. Just 3 stellar defensive plays. And it's amazing because it kind of stinks because we're seeing the number 1 and number 2 NBA defense teams in the league, and one of them's got to go. And that kind of sucks because I think defense makes these games better. It makes them more entertaining instead of it feeling like an all-star game. That's just me. I understand people love scoring and everything, but when you have a dynamic defense that understands the game, understands how to switch when they're closing in on the gap and they're stripping guys, amazing. And then even with Lowry hitting that amazing shot to put them up in double overtime out of reach, Kemba Walker was just amazing defense there. And that was just a ridiculous shot by Lowry to have probably the best defense that could be played on it, and he still hit the shot. So, of course, I didn't like the outcome as a Celtics fan, but as a fan of sports, that was a classic. I loved every bit of it.
Yeah, it was a really good game. Then you had the Clippers taking a 3-1 series lead on the Nuggets. That one looks like it's over, too.
Just real quick, by the way, he's got a 7.2 average.
Excuse me.
Nine carries for 65 yards, 7.2 average. So not even 5 or 6, 7.2 on carries. But yeah, the Clippers Nuggets, I was wrong. I thought the Nuggets to me are still a far stronger team than what they're showing. And I think the Clippers aren't as good as people make them out to be. So I thought they were more even balanced. But I'm forgetting his name. I want to call him Murray, and that's not his name. But the guy that we saw just balling it out in Denver in that first series against the Jazz. Last night in the game, the commentator said it 3 times. They're like, where is he? Like Stephen A. Smith said, he's like, I kept waiting for that guy to show up, and he wasn't there. And the Joker is amazing. He's a fantastic player. He's dynamic in ways that no one really understands because he plays in Denver, but he can't do that all against that Clippers team. Yeah. Kawhi Leonard's just way too dang good. When Paul George has an average game, he's too good. Yep. You needed everyone on Denver, and I thought they were going to come back with some authority, and they just couldn't adjust right. And it almost seemed like they were hesitant to make a shot. There was like 3 drives in a row where they kept passing it, making an extra pass, and the guy would go up and he'd pass it. It wasn't that the Clippers were on top of them defensive wise. They were just too hesitant, and I don't understand that. So controversy with the Chiefs game looks like
that's coming back.
Yep.
Yeah, that's going to come back. It'll be ball on the half-yard line.
Who was it that came over that had the touchdown?
Sammy Watkins.
Sammy Watkins. So there's a lot of people, fantasy sports, outside of really, really deep leagues that want this reverse. They want a chance for Kelsey or Hilaire or someone to get this touchdown because Watkins, outside of some deep leagues, he's not on any rosters. So
yeah, I'm in 3 leagues. I don't have anybody playing tonight in any of them. I don't believe. Actually, you know what? No, I don't have one of them. I don't have any of them playing in any of these. Yeah, I didn't end up with any Chiefs or any Texans on.
How many leagues are you in?
3. Mm-hmm. Yeah, what are you in? 74?
Oh, just 26. I thought it was 28, but there were 2 I didn't end up going to.
I couldn't. I would not be able to keep up.
I did the lineups today, man, and I think if they had just all been regular lineups, it would have been fine. But I'm in some where we have 7 defensive players. I'm in some where we have 3 wide receiver, 2 flex, and 3 defensive players. Like some of these really, really deep ones, and I'm on 4 formats. I'm on ESPN, Sleeper, Yahoo, and Flea Flicker. And I'm like, I've made the decision. I'm going after Gardner. By the way, tonight I'm going to just blast all my screenshots to him on Twitter, and it's going to be my goal to get him on our show even for 5 minutes this year. But next year, I'm cutting it down to 5 leagues. This is insanity. Like I don't understand.
So
what I was thinking.
One of my leagues, I have to figure out who to start at quarterback this Sunday. Maybe you guys out there listening can help me out with this.
There you go.
I have Carson Wentz, Drew Brees, and Tom Brady are my 3 quarterbacks in that league. I can only start one. I do not have either of them. I do not have any of their wide receivers, so I can't double up there. A lot of times I'll double up if I have,
Who are you playing a guy, not a guy, a person that's got one of the wide receivers?
You know what? That's a good question. Let me see who his wide receivers are.
You don't want to make an impact.
He does not have any of my wide receivers for any of my quarterbacks.
Okay.
He does have Alvin Kamara, and I have Drew Brees, which could turn into something there.
Could turn into something. But you don't. There's two mentalities with that. Some people
I have Drew Brees versus Tampa's offense, Tom Brady versus New Orleans defense, or I have Carson Wentz versus Washington's defense.
Oh, well,
that's why I'm really leaning Wentz.
You just answered your question. It's not to say that Breeze, I already predicted a big game score, but you're almost trying to figure out which of those two. I really think Wentz against that Washington defense. Now, the only thing that scares me about that, Chase Young is just blowing up practices for Washington. He is mowing over grown men with 5 years on him.
I thought you were going to say Miles Sanders.
No, screw Miles Sanders. I love the fact. I don't wish ill will on anyone or people to get hurt, but the fact that he's week to week and Philly's cautious on him and they might not play him just made me laugh. And if you guys don't know what we're talking about, we got in a bit of a back and forth with one of the other shows on RTF because they put Miles Sanders ahead of Derrick Henry and put him like, fifth or sixth or something like that for top running backs in the game this year. And we just couldn't believe it. It's insane. But
then one of my other leagues, I have either Drew Brees or Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins versus Green Bay or Drew Brees versus Tampa.
Yeah, Joshua CV isn't going to like this, but that's where you go Brees. I think Brees and Brady are both going to have some good games. They're going to be chucking the ball up, and it's to showcase they're both going to be amped for that showdown. So where you don't have them going against each other, where you have to flip a coin, go with Brees in that one. That's my opinion.
Yeah. And then my third league, I have no options at quarterback. Oh, actually, I do have an option.
You better have a quarterback.
I kind of have options. I have Ben Roethlisberger and Teddy Bridgewater. That one, I forgot all about the draft, and it auto-drafted for me. This one was a free league. The other two were not free leagues, so hence maybe why I forgot about the draft. So I've been Roethlisberger and Teddy Bridgewater there. I'm leaning Roethlisberger versus the Giants as opposed to Bridgewater versus Vegas. But
yeah, I would almost go with just because you've got Connor, you've got Juju. I know that Teddy Bridgewater obviously has CMC and DJ Moore. But again, remember Teddy was successful because he was a game manager. He didn't have these ridiculous stats. He didn't reflect Breeze's stats. That's why I think I really like Teddy Bridgewater is when people go, oh, it's a system. It's a system. He stepped in a system where a quarterback is slinging 400 yards all the time. And he did the opposite. He was doing 200 yards, 185 yards, managed the game, knew to throw the ball away. So he's going to be more of a guy that if you're a Carolina fan, you're going to be happy with the way he manages that game. If you're got him in fantasy, I don't think you're going to like it so much. I know Ben's coming off that injury, but man, he's looking sharp. He lost a lot of weight after he looked like Santa Claus on the sidelines. And Juju
and the Giants.
Connor. And against the New Jersey Blue team, get him. Go get him. I'd go Big Ben there.
Yeah. Well, so let's see. You've got pretty much just Gardner Minshew in all your leagues. Are you starting on this week? Wait. Here's the test. In your money league, are you starting Gardner Minshew?
Which one? I have like 6 money leagues. Wait, I'm sorry. I know the Chiefs just scored, but it's still showing Sammy Watkins. He didn't get the score, did he?
Did they call that? I missed.
No, they ran another play.
Okay.
But all I'm seeing is still Sammy Watkins pass from Patrick Mahomes for 2 yards. And that definitely wasn't it. That was the play before.
Yeah.
Figure it out. Man, I'm in 11 of them are money. There's one of them that's a 2-quarterback league. I got him in because I've got 3 quarterbacks, and my third quarterback is Tua. I've got him in there for future because it's a deep keeper league. So I've got I got my boy Minshew in there for that. There's like 3 or 4 leagues I've got Minshew in. You know, I'm not just a big fan of his just because of the whole mustache thing and everything like that. I truly think that Gardner Minshew is one hell of a quarterback. I liked him at Washington State. I thought he was awesome there, and I love what he's doing in Jacksonville. Doesn't mean that he's a stellar guy that's going to, throw for 400 yards all the time. But DJ Chark is just a fantastic wide receiver. He loves getting thrown to him. I think guys like Dede and a couple other receivers are out there to prove their ability. And look, you've got a team that is pretty much being toted. It's so funny because I feel like we're watching the same stories last year as the Miami Dolphins. Yep. We all said they're tanking. They're tanking for Tua, which is funny because they ended up getting him anyways. Yeah. But everyone was like, they're tanking. He's tanking for Tua. They suck. And what did they do? They ended up fighting and proving different. And I think the Jaguars are the same thing. People are like, oh, they're tanking. And Gardner and other players will come out and go, that is the last thing we're doing. So I think that adds a chip on the shoulder of, we're not tanking. Go ahead and think that's what we're doing. We're not going for Trevor. Gardner's our guy. We're going to succeed. We're just revamping some of the cancerous people in the locker room. We're going to strip it back down and build it up. It's going to be a tough season for them. I had them at 8-8. Since some things have happened, 6-10. But at the same time, I don't think this is going to be a 1-15 team that some people are predicting. I think it's a different thing. And I think Gardner's going to have a few good games that they're going to realize that's why they've got him. So,
Hey, it'll be interesting to watch. Look, I like Gardner Minshew. I like the story. He comes off as one of those guys you'd love to go have a beer with. So, I really hope they do well. I just checked. It was Sammy Watkins when they ran that second play. Sammy Watkins scored again.
Okay. I saw that they ran the ball after that. The play was
it was third and goal from the 2.
Okay. I was doing my job here and talking, and I forgot to stare at the screen. So well, hey, Sammy Watkins fans that were happy and then pissed got to be happy again.
Yeah. So they're at the 2-minute warning of the first half, and the Houston Texans have the ball. Man, Houston's got to score here, right?
Yeah, you have to score at least a field goal. You got to score. You got to keep yourself within.
And there they go, handing the ball off.
You got to have it. Well, I mean, it's been a good run for them so far in the game. I mean, you got to manage the game. If you just go out there and start slinging it every single play, this is not third quarter yet.
Yeah, but not on 2nd and 3 with the clock running and a 2-minute warning on a drive that we both just said you have to score. You got all 3 of your timeouts, but look, now it's third and 2, and they ran it again. He did get the first down. He gained 3 yards on that run, but
what a terrible call. Listen, you don't just go. What if
the clock's still running? No,
right, but what if there's a reason though? What if they go down and they're slinging the ball, and Watson goes up there and he finds Fuller and gets a nasty touchdown? You're going to give Patrick Mahomes and that offense another chance because they get the ball first in the second half. You give it to them with a minute, they're going down and scoring, and they're coming out.
Don't worry about that if you're trying to score. You don't. No,
game management. Don't worry. Man.
Yeah, but you have to. Come on, man.
You'd rather it's a minute and a half. They're on the.
You'd rather run a minute and a half off the clock than to get your team downfield.
You don't need to go that far for a field goal, Combs. This is the NFL. This is not college. They're on the 35-yard line.
So you're settling for a field goal here is what you're trying to do.
Holy crap. I'm sitting here trying to say that a guy like Watson can still get them down in field goal coverage so that you don't give the Chiefs the ball because they're going to have it coming out in the third quarter. And now what? You want to back off about how great Watson actually is without Hopkins? It's a minute and a half on the 35. That's plenty of time to get them in field goal range without giving the Chiefs the ball.
You have to come off here and you have to start throwing the ball like they just did on that play. You just can't force it like Watson just did. But you have to come out. You have to come out throwing. You have to.
That was a duck throw, man. That came out of his hand funky. I think if he had put that, what he wanted to do, you could tell he wanted to kind of put a little bit of that nice little drop on it. If it came out of his hand with a nice spiral, the receiver there, Cooks, is going to.
His offensive line is not giving him any time. It was a nice little dump pass right there to David Johnson. But his Kansas City is collapsing his pocket quick.
Hey, you want to know who would have caught that pass, though, that he threw to Cooks? Hopkins would have.
God.
He would have. I watched him catch eye test. I watched Hopkins catch balls like that constantly.
He got his hand on the ball. The defender got his hand on the ball.
Yeah, I've watched Hopkins be able to go up and reach over and grab that all the time.
Yeah.
Just telling you.
And Kansas City again, man. They collapse that pocket so quick.
Yeah,
Watson has zero time.
Yep, that's we talk about the secondary doesn't have a lot of guys outside of Honey Badger, but you don't need to stress too much about it if your quarterback doesn't have time. And that's they're doing an immense job putting the pressure on Watson. I mean, you've literally got double teams coming right up on both gaps, and they're either closing it in or in the next play they're coming banging right up through the middle. They're doing a great. They just got it again. They're making the Texans offensive line look like Bill O'Brien is their general manager. That's what it looks like right now.
A nice pat. Oh, what a move. What a move. Who's that Texans tight end? Oh, Akins. Oh, Akins. My God. Yep. He just put a – what? You're probably a little bit behind me, but watch this move he puts on the side right here.
I am. I'm still seeing the replay of the last one where Jones just busted right through the minnow.
I'm already on the play after that one.
Which is crazy because I watch it and you reflect sometimes and I'm like only 5 seconds behind you. And then this one, I'm like, I feel like I'm a minute behind you. It's insane.
Yeah.
And I close out. That's it. That is a great pass. Great move by Akins.
That was that duck under was sick.
Snead put his shoulder right on the ball, though. Good job by Akins. So that might seem like nothing big, but that was a purposeful tackle by the.
He's a good tight end, man. He's a tight end a lot of people don't talk about, but he's a really good, solid tight end.
A lot of people don't talk about him. This is. Look at this though, man. They ran the ball and they're managing it a little bit, and they're within striking distance.
But they didn't get into field goal range until Watson brought them into field goal range with the pass game. And man, there they go again, collapsing that pocket. Watson is.
You're still not getting my point. Yeah, Watson got them in there, but they shaved off almost a minute running the ball, getting the first down. That gives a minute less to the Chiefs. You literally need to put this where you're either scoring a touchdown right before the half or you kick a field goal with time expiring. You don't give the Chiefs 10 seconds.
Mike Fink still checking out the show, says great set about the Chiefs defense last year. In December, the Chiefs allowed 10.4 points per game.
You got to close it out. That's the Patriot way, how they succeeded for 2 decades. They were known. Come December, when the D hits the calendar, you shut that stuff down, and that's what Bill Belichick was known having his team doing. The defense, even if they were weak in November, it's terrible. So
it's 4th and 10 now with 30 seconds to go. They got the ball. I believe they're in field goal range. They're on the. Let's see here. Yeah, they're gonna have to go ahead and try the field goal here. Try to get it.
And see what they were doing at like the 30-something yard line. They decided that, hey, we can safely now with the clock take some shots towards the end zone, but at the same time we're in field goal range. So
yeah,
that's I'm telling you, that's the way you got to do it.
He shanks the field goal. Hey, that's all right. Chiefs just keep winning. That's all I care about. Win me my $125. Let's get Kuti into the end zone twice in the second half. Win me big bucks, and I will be a happy man. Oh,
I'm behind you, so I'm just seeing it again right now.
Oh yeah, I mean, as a Bears fan, watching stuff like that happen.
No, here's something nuts.
PTSD. It makes me want to shrink into a corner.
The refs missed a huge call there. They missed an absolutely huge call. You're not allowed, and I know this as a Pats fan because it's something that they did a ton and would be able to block kicks. You're not allowed to leap over the offensive lineman. And they had 2, not just 1. They had 2 Chiefs completely jump the offensive lineman that snapped the ball, the center. Completely jumped over him.
Yeah.
They completely missed that call. That should be a 5-yard penalty, free kick. So if the Chiefs if the Chiefs only win this by 3 points, that's going to be Houston fans are going to go back and complain about that and, say, hey, we get you can't do it all on blaming the refs. But I mean, that was clear as day, man. That was absolutely clear as day. And to my point, 22 seconds to go. They're out there trying to score.
And they're oh my God, Mahomes. Mahomes is so good.
I told you, man.
So good.
They didn't want to give them the ball with a single second
but
on the
that's
clock.
why you don't settle for a field. That's why you have to push the ball.
Well, now you're on the field.
Look,
Now you're on the
Mahomes is going
you're on
to
the field.
You have to keep pace,
dude. You're on the field goal thing, and I'm trying to tell you while you're sitting there complaining about them running. That's exactly why they did it. Yet they ran, and yet they still gave him just under 30 seconds to come down here and do what he's doing. If he was out there slinging it, Watson was like you wanted him to.
All right,
and there was a minute and 20 seconds, they would have had
coming and do this with a minute and a half to go and putting 7 more points on the board, like he's capable of doing now with 30 seconds. He's just as capable of doing that. But would you have rather put 7 points up on the board quickly and just say, "Hey, defense, go out and try to get a stop"? I mean, at that
Mahomes?
Point, you're still only down by 1 score. Now you might.
It's game management.
Down by 2.
It's game management. If you get it down. It's horrible game management, except for the fact that if they had ran it just a little bit more, that kick, if it had even been shanked, you do it with time expiring, and he doesn't get to do this.
He's doing it anyway.
He's doing it anyways because there's still time on the clock because they started throwing it. You just keep making my point. You run the ball to run time off the clock.
Your point is incorrect.
It's not. You run the ball to run time off the clock. They started throwing it because they started listening to the best podcast show on the radio, and they decided to sit here and go, "Oh, we should throw it because Mr. Combs knows everything about clock management." Terrible.
When you are playing a high-powered offense like the Kansas City Chiefs, you have to keep pace. You cannot run the ball in hopes to try to kick a field goal to come within 4 to give them the ball back again to start the second. You have to score touchdowns against the Kansas City Chiefs. You have to. You can't.
They ran the ball and got a first down and shaved off a minute off the clock and then started throwing it and gave them the ball back with 30 seconds. You run the ball 3 more times and get another first down. There's no time left on the clock when they kick that ball. It's literally game management. If all you want to do is just sling the ball to score touchdowns every damn drive, go play Madden. They'll let you do it. Hell, in 30 seconds, they'll let you run for 250 yards.
It was 304 yards.
Oh, sorry. I forgot. Everything is based on fantasy stats and Madden and stuff.
Man.
Literally
you
had it going the right way.
Touchdowns versus the Chiefs. You cannot compete with the Chiefs kicking field goals and clock management. You just can't. If you give him the ball with 6 seconds to go, he's got a chance to drive that ball downfield. You cannot worry, and your banner just fell down behind you, so we can all see your living room now.
Good. it's my feeling about
even
the
your
way this
banner is trying to
leave.
Even your banner is trying to leave listening to your takes.
You're a fucking fool, man. It's they literally shaved a fucking minute off the clock running the ball.
And now they're down by 10. Congratulations.
Because they started throwing the fucking ball. They literally did what you said. They didn't get enough time off the clock. What happens when you throw the ball, Combs, and it hits the ground? You should know this as a fucking Mitch Trubisky fan. What happens? The clock stops. You run the ball to keep the clock going. They started throwing it. They shake a field goal, and they gave him 30 seconds, which I told you. You want 0 seconds on the clock.
You run the ball in the fourth quarter, not the second when you're down to the Kansas City Chiefs. You just don't. I'm sorry, but you just don't. And that's why the Houston Texans are the worst coach team in the NFL.
They literally did what you said they should do and ended up giving them enough time. Like your proof in it is absolutely abortly terrible because they threw the ball like you said once you started saying it, and they gave them time on the clock and they came back and scored. It's literally doing the opposite of what you're saying.
What do you mean? You have to. You're right. They didn't execute. They didn't execute the passes, but it doesn't mean you don't do it. You've got Deshaun Watson, who's your franchise quarterback, who you just signed to a huge extension. You need to give him the ball and let him do what he is paid to do, especially against a team like the Kansas City Chiefs, where you have to put up 30 to 40 points in order to compete with them.
We talk about the damn GOAT. I've been watching friggin' football with Tom Brady, the GOAT, all the time. You know how many times I sat there and watched the exact same situation and I watched Tom Brady hand the damn ball off? Want to know why? Because Bill Belichick doesn't give 2 shits about how much of a superstar you are. You manage the game. You don't sit here and do fantasy stats or whatever the hell you can do in Madden. Just because in Madden, Deshaun Watson can throw a 40-yard fade touchdown pass.
Come on, man.
Doesn't mean you
the
do
Madden stuff. It's not about Madden. It's about giving your franchise quarterback
you run
on a team
down.
that is not seen as to be going anywhere, trying to play against his defending Super Bowl champions on opening night, and you're trying to compete for field goals.
You literally
you're not going to happen.
And instead they're down by instead it's a 6-point swing. Instead it's a 6-point swing.
It is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is.
You have to give your guy a chance to win. Now you're down by 10 and you're not coming back against Kansas City. You would rule as a coach,
man. It is what it is. Is that what you're going to go tell your team at halftime? It is what it is, guys.
No, but I'm also going to not tell my team, hey, man, look, we're playing the Chiefs. I didn't want to give them the ball back because I was scared they're going to score. Give me a break.
Are you serious? Every friggin' person on the planet right now, including the Texans players, knew that when they got the ball where they did with 30 seconds left, that was plenty of time for Patrick Mahomes. Everyone knew it. Everyone knew it. So instead of just running 3 plays and getting a first down to start, they ran another 3 plays and got a first down. And instead, Deshaun Watson's throwing balls into the end zone as time's expiring, because they had 10 more yards, and then that kicker, instead of a 54, he's kicking a 44, and then there's no time left. You score 3 points, and they don't get the ball back.
Why are you taking shots from the end zone? Why are you taking? So instead of saying, "Oh, you're supposed to run the ball," why are you taking shots in the end zone from the 30 and 40-yard line, as opposed to running what got you to the 30 and 40-yard line, which is little dink and dunk passes, and getting that closer and take shots from the 10.
Now you're clarifying. Okay, well, now I want my all-star superstar quarterback that I paid a bunch of money. I want him to dink and dunk. You just talked about how you wanted Watson to be given all of this aspect of, you just paid him a bunch of money. You got to give him the ball. Tom Brady handed the damn ball off in those same situations. He didn't turn around. We didn't turn around and sit there and go, what the hell are you doing? Tom Brady's quarterback. No, we trusted that they were
because Tom Brady was always the team to beat. Tom Brady was never the guy going into a game as an underdog. He just wasn't. So he wasn't going in there. You have to try to keep pace with the Kansas City Chiefs, because all they do is score at will.
Yeah, and if right now it's 14-10, you're better. You're wrong. You're not better than 17-7 at 14-10, Combs. Do some fucking math.
You're
man.
wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. You have to try to score touchdowns. You cannot play for field goals against the Kansas City Chiefs.
Ask the fucking Texans if they'd rather be up 14-10 or 17 or down 14-10 or 17-7. What would they rather be? It's math, Combs. Okay. 10 points or 4 points. It's
not just about math. It's about game planning.
Right. And game planning says if you're down by 4 instead of by 10, that's a better game plan.
Oh, my God. Guys, all you listeners out there, help me out. Should they have run the ball and try to give Patrick Mahomes no time and settle for the field goal, or should they have been passing and trying to get into the end zone and running plays, not deep yard plays from the 30-yard line? Should they have kept with the game plan, running the little small passes, the little outs that they were running, and try to get in the end zone?
Good job bringing that up right at the very end.
Do you have to score touchdowns?
Listening to us throw a fit for 15 minutes. Good job dinking that in right at the end, by the way.
Do you have to score touchdowns to keep pace with the Kansas City Chiefs?
No one's listening to us.
Just think of the positives, Soup Boss. There's not a big green turd behind.
No, it's a big friggin' turd right here. Notice I can still friggin' figure out where to point my finger, too.
I can't.
You can't. You still can't. There you go. It only took you 2 tries at the time.
Dylan, what's going on? Hey, Dylan, answer the question for us. You're a football guy. What should the Texans have been running the ball there to run timeout and settle for the field goal, or should they have been passing and going for the end zone?
You act like oh my God, Combs.
You just said they should have been running the ball and running the timeout to not give him any time.
You fucking run it so he's throwing 10 yards closer with time to go, so you get a better chance, because it's better to even throw a touchdown from the 20-yard line with 2 seconds to go and be tied. But even if you don't do that, at least you're going into halftime down by 4 with no time to give it to the Chiefs. The whole aspect was no matter what, run the ball to run some clock off so you're within the 20-yard line to kick the field goal or take a shot at the end zone. Not to just start slinging it and be forced to kick a 51 or 54-yard field goal, which gave the Chiefs, literally everything I threw a fit about what would happen by doing it that way is what happened. And somehow you're still arguing with me.
I would have rather started seeing Deshaun get fucked by defensive line. Oh, man. Jared says, I'll fight Nick Nurse.
I'll fight Nick Nurse. Man, I'm blown away, by the way, when he was that play. Nick Nurse, that's the way he is. He's an energetic guy. I love it. But you can't be on the court. There was 3 times he got out on the court throwing fits about stuff that he could have been easily given a technical foul for. That play where Tatum turned it over because he thought that was I forget his name there in the corner when it was Eddie House standing on the black line on the corner. I can't believe in the league in which they complain about every damn thing. There wasn't a single Celtic that said, what the hell is he doing there? He can't do that because it would have been the first times an NBA player complained, and they would have been dead right.
Ivan Sanders is laughing. I think he's loving the
at least
back and forth, the yelling.
At least we're making someone laugh because about 90% of our people probably shut it off.
I just know. Look, our viewership during that whole thing. I'm watching the little eyeball here on the side. Man, that thing went up from 4 to 10 in about 30 seconds. I think somebody said, "Hey guys, check this out. These guys are freaking going off on each other."
I got the passion of Julia Vila, by the way. Saturday night, she had her match last week dropped. UFC, that's the only reason I'm not wearing a football jersey. She ended up picking one up. She's going to go to UFC again. She's going to get another big win. And when she does, I'm getting her on this show. This is a great view. That's my dog Wrinkles right there. Great view. I know. I was sitting here trying to figure out how to make sure I get the banner because I got a big open space, and I put the chairs. I flipped them upside down, and I secured everything. And I even remember thinking that this side right here, I was like, man, I need another thing of tape. Nah, I've already got 2 things of tape. I don't need to worry about it.
All right, Soup, why don't you tell these guys where they can find us one more time? Tell them how they can get some free stuff.
Hey, guys, it's Thursday. Countdown begins 3 more days away before you guys start losing stuff. Don't lose another item. Get some good stuff. So YouTube, Triple Shot Sports Podcast. And hit the subscribe button. Do some likes. And honestly, we appreciate everyone that's watching us on all the channels. But on YouTube, I've been told, I'm afraid if I comment, I won't be there. No, you comment. We can see it live. We'd be able to put it on. Looks like Mr. Combs might have lost his lunch there. Got sick of getting yelled at and he threw up. But Triple Shot Sports Podcast, subscribe. We are about 50 people away. But if we go to Sunday night, about 10 minutes before this game is over, the show is over, and we don't have 100 subscribers, another thing's coming out.
And this could be one of the things. Look, this is a Philip Lindsay. You see the certificate of authentication is right there in the helmet.
I love that guy. I can't believe they got Gordon.
Full-size replica helmet. Look, this thing, you got the bumper on the back. You got the Broncos on the front there. You got we had a bunch of Broncos fans on Sports Soup. So, Soup, guys, if you're a Broncos fan, get on there, subscribe. Not only that, but we got the Fernando Tatis jersey. We got the Saquon Barkley jersey's gone. You guys already lost that. So we got this Vic jersey behind me. We've got the Calvin Ridley Alabama jersey. I still got the Lou Brock jerseys in there. The Joe Mauer All-Star jersey. The Joe Mauer All-Star ball to match. We've got items in here, all autographed, all certified. So, guys, all you got to do is subscribe to the YouTube page. Just subscribe.
And Lou Brock passed away just recently, and as Mr. Combs said, you hate saying it when those things happen, but usually, unfortunately, when athletes pass away, the memorabilia goes up. This is literally something Mr. Combs could be like, "Ooh, I'm going to hold on to it." and yet he's still willing to give this out. I think part of it is his girlfriend is threatening his life or withholding sex if he doesn't get rid of some of it. But
no, never that. Never
that. So, but and then again, Twitter, Instagram, at 3 Shot Sports, at the number 3 Shot Sports, but most of all, YouTube, Triple Shot Sports Podcast. Let's go.
Jared says, I want your sweatshirt and signed by you added to the mix.
Jared always wants something. He always wants something.
I'm not giving up this sweatshirt. This is one of my favorites. I'm not giving it up. But hey, I could certainly sign some. I mean, it's going to be worth.
Look how sad Wally looks behind me. He looks so depressed.
I mean, the stuff I'm trying to give away is worth hundreds of dollars. If I sign something and send it to you, you're going to have to pay somebody to take it from you. I don't know if that's what you really want, but if that's what you want, you've got it.
You're giving the poor kids overseas like it's a loser shirt from the Super Bowl, and even they'd be like, ugh.
All right, so that's all the time we got for tonight, guys. Enjoy the second half of the game.
Go Cardinals.
We will be back on Sunday with a whole lot of football to talk about. I'm hoping to be talking about maybe a Bears win, probably not, but maybe a Bears win against Detroit. I know we'll be talking the Patriots. Will be coming right off of that huge matchup between Tampa Bay and New Orleans.
Yeah,
that's a 3:30 game, and so we'll be on probably right as that game is ending.
Yep.
So. We'll be with you guys on Sunday, and we'll have a whole lot to talk about. Can't wait to see you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Love you guys. Subscribe on YouTube.